Mark 12, chapter 20, Mark chapter 12, verse 29. Yahweh shall answer him. The first of all commandments is, Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one Lord. Shema Yasharala Yahweh Alahayanawa Yahweh Akkad. Amen.
Amen. And that's another thing. Learn the Hebrew credo. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our power is one. Right? We should all know that. Shema Yasharala Yahweh Alahayanawa Yahweh Akkad. Say that again? Okay, yeah, come. Gotcha. Right, so here we are again, back in our biblical series, breaking down segments of the Bible. And so we've reached Malachi, right? Malachi in the Hebrew, which means what?
That's a messenger.
My messenger.
My messenger.
Yah on the end makes it possessive, right? So just a little bit of history on Malachi. We're only going to go through one chapter today, right? But just a little history on Malachi, right? Malachi, he just shortly succeeds right after Nehemiah in the era with Ezra and Nehemiah. So he lives during what we call the Second Temple period, right? So 516 BC is what date? An important date in history, if y'all remember. 586 is an important date.
They came back from Babylon?
They came back from Babylon in 538 BC. 586 BC, the temple's destroyed.
Right.
Then after 70 years, 516 BC is when what? The temple is completed. Right? However, the walls around Jerusalem were not established yet. Around 444 BC, remember Nehemiah was a cupbearer, right? Before the king of Persia. And the king of Persia said, listen, why are you so, distressed? And he hears that the temple of his people is being built. They were there for 70 years. Now he wants to go back and he wants to build the walls. So Nehemiah, when we ever reach Nehemiah, I want you all to read Ezra and Nehemiah as we're talking about this paradigm, right? Concerning the Second Temple when it was built and in between that, right? So scholars say Nehemiah is roughly 433 BC, 420 to 424 BC, around that era, right? We rounded off, we'll say about 430 BC. And so on, right? So that's the time of Malachi on the scene, which is why he is the last prophet of the Old Testament. From the time of Malachi to where we see Matthew is called the intertestamental period. Okay, everybody write that down. Intertestamental period. Very important to understand why it's called the intertestamental period, because it was in between the two testaments, and it was roughly around 400 years before Israel saw another prophet. Say that again?
Next.
You can speak up, don't worry.
Was that the Maccabees next?
So we have the times of the Maccabees, which we call the times of Alexander, the Greeks, into the Hasmonean dynasty, which were the Maccabees, right? We're going to get all that history. But from around 400 BC to the time we see John the Baptist is the intertestamental period. So let's go to Matthew chapter 11, verse 11 really quick, so we can understand what's taking place here.
Matthew chapter 11, verse 11. Verily I say unto you, among them that are born of woman, there have not risen a greater than John the Baptist.
So we know that Yahweh Shai is speaking of John the Baptist. This is when John the Baptist when he was in prison, you know, and he was suffering, about to get killed and delivered up. So he sent one of his disciples to say, "Are you the Messiah?" Right? So now Yahweh Shai is giving John the Baptist his props. Because remember, John the Baptist was the herald, the forerunner before Yahweh Shai. And he had to decrease so that Yahweh Shai could increase. John the Baptist been out there before Yahweh Shai ministry. And Most High always uses two witnesses. And it's through the prophet Malachi how we understand that there was going to be a gap where it wasn't going to be a prophet to come up in the magnitude of the prophets we see from the days of old until the times of Christ and John the Baptist, right? So continue that out.
Notwithstanding, he that is least in the kingdom of heaven is greater than he.
See, he that is least in the kingdom of heaven is greater than he. Why? Because John the Baptist, when you understand Yahweh Shai and his ministry, he came for the bride. John had his own disciples. But his disciples and John didn't say, "Let us be disciples unto you." They decided they wasn't going to be a part of the bride. Does that mean that John the Baptist is not going to make it into the kingdom? No. It's just that he's teaching you the sentiment, you're the greatest in the kingdom when you're my disciple. See, a lot of people don't understand, even the prophets of old that we read, they had disciples. Okay? Jeremiah had disciples, right? Many of the prophets had disciples. Why would you just be a teacher all by yourself and not pass the teaching down? Elijah, who was his disciple? Elisha, right? So Christ, Hamashiach Yahweh Shai, is showing you the line between, he's drawing the line in the sand between his discipleship and John's discipleship. My discipleship is greater than John's. That's what he's saying. So John is like the best man, but we are the bride. See what I'm saying? Well, go ahead.
Verse 12. And from the days of John the Baptist until now, the kingdom of heaven suffereth violence.
You see that? So the kingdom of heaven suffereth violence. So we understand that the kingdom of heaven is the children of Israel. We understand that Jerusalem and the place of our worship represents what's going on in heaven as far as worship, right? And the kingdom is suffering violence. We suffering violence now, the kingdom of heaven, right? But go ahead.
And the violent take it by force.
They take it by force. Just like we're going to take their kingdom by force, they took our kingdom by force, right? Go ahead.
Verse 13. For all the prophets and the law prophesied until John.
See that? For all the prophets and the law prophesied until John, right? So what's he saying?
When they say until, what does that mean? Until he came?
Yeah, that's what I'm about to break down now. So read that again.
For all the prophets and the law prophesied until John.
See that? So it says all the prophets and the law. Yahweh Shai is explaining the Tanakh, right? Meaning the Tanakh was complete. What is Tanakh? The acronym. When people say Torah and Tanakh, that's false. It's Tanakh. The T is an acronym for Torah. The N is for the acronym in the acronym Tanakh for Nabayim, which are the prophets. And then Ketuvim or Kethabwayim, when you get the K, is the songs. So we saying all the prophets and the law prophesied until John. That means he's the one, right, that Malachi spoke of concerning Elijah. So there was what was called, like I said earlier, the intertestamental period. Before John comes on the scene, you had a 400-year period about it. So all the prophesied until John. And we're going to get that in the further lessons, right? Continue on.
Verse 14. And if ye will receive it, this is Elias.
See, this is Elijah, right? So John the Baptist is Elijah. It's not, Oh, he was in the spirit of Elijah. If he is in the spirit, if he is the spirit of Elijah, he's Elijah. Right? Because the Lord said he was going to send Elijah back. Right? And this will be a sign for the children of Israel when the second coming of the Messiah will be. Why? Because John the Baptist and Yahushua, they both warned the children of Israel it's going to be a greater day. Right? John the Baptist talks about his baptism with fire. Right? That he first had to come to suffer as a suffering lamb, and then at his second coming was going to be that great and terrible day. That's all in the book of Malachi. So what Malachi left was, it was like he was the last runner of the Old Testament, right? And what he gave, there was a gap, but a lot of the Israelites at that time didn't pay attention, right? And it's called the intertestamental period. So let's go to 2nd Ezra chapter 7, and let's start at verse 26, just to start it off, right? I think it's 26.
2nd Ezra,
No, 26.
chapter 7, verse 26. Behold, the time shall come that these tokens which I have told thee shall come to pass.
See, all of these signs are going to take place, right? 2nd Ezra is a very deep book, a lot of signs, a lot of wonders, a lot of prophecies, right? But the Most High is going to break it down, right? Go ahead.
And the bride shall appear.
See, the bride, that's the body of Yahushua. Those are the disciples of Christ, the apostles, the prophets, the evangelists, the pastors, the teachers, and those working miracles, the business administrators. Everybody that is a disciple of Yahushua should fit in those offices, right? So that's the bride that's going to come out of her chamber. And you see the bride today coming out of her chamber, being what? The 12 tribes of Israel, those who are sealed amongst the elect, right? Coming out of her chamber, adorning herself, preparing for who? For her husband. Go ahead.
And the bride shall appear, and she coming forth shall be seen, that now is withdrawn from the earth.
See, we're hidden. That's the elect. We are those that were hidden right from the beginning of the world, now to be revealed as the children of God. Right? Go ahead.
Verse 27. And whosoever is delivered from the foresaid evils shall see my wonders.
So if you make it in that day, you're going to see the wonders of the Lord. Right? If you survive earthquakes and floods and tsunamis and tornadoes and gunshots and disease and all of these perils, right? If you live up to that time that the Lord showed him prior to these verses, you're going to see the wonders of the Lord, right? But go ahead.
And the world shall be turned. Oh, dang.
Verse 28.
Verse 28. For my son Yahushua shall be revealed with those that be with him.
See, he's going to be revealed with those that be with him. That's why it says he's going to come with his apostles and his prophets. Right? Go ahead.
And they that remain shall rejoice within 400 years.
You see that? They that remain shall rejoice within 400 years. So he's speaking of a time when Yahushua will come. Right? Which was about 400 years from the time of Malachi. And them that rejoice are going to be all those that receive him in his appearing in his first advent. Come? Everybody understand? So Yahushua is going to be building his church in his first advent. Keep going.
After these years shall my son Christ die, and all men that have life.
So it says all men that have life is talking about the apostles. What are we reading right now? We're reading all of the things that they received from Yahushua through the Spirit, and it's given us life. That's why it says all men that have life. So after this 400-year period, which we call the intertestamental period, when Malachi, when he succeeded Nehemiah and Ezra, you don't see any more prophets during the 300s, the 4th century, 2nd century, 1st century BC, until you see Yahushua come on the scene with John. with Elijah. And then you see his disciples. And until all the disciples die, that's the all men that have life. Because they have passed down this life, right, to us being the 12. Right? So that's what's going into. We'll continue.
And the world shall be turned into the old silence 7 days.
So that's that 1 week. Even going into Daniel, all of the souls being confirmed for the 1 week. Right? But go ahead.
Like as in the former judgments, so that no man shall remain.
See that? As in the former judgment. So we're going to see the same circle of the Most High's judgment enacting on the earth. Right? Which we call, he says he likens his judgment unto a ring. Right? So it's not going to be new to anybody. Right? Everybody in that day, when Yahweh Shai cracks the sky with his angels, he's coming with his apostles and his prophets. Guess what? We already understood that the world was destroyed with a flood. We always heard next time it's going to be fire. Right? And everyone's going to know in that day that they messed up. And everybody on the right hand is going to be rewarded and rejoice and enter into life. Why? Because you are a part of that bride that has been revealed in these end times. Right? So it's very important to understand the depths of Malachi and the time Malachi lived and his ministry took place in order for us to just dive right into Malachi and understand what's going on. Right? And I always think about it like this. When you see the Hebrew Israelites on street corners, right, with other men with staffs in their hands and the posters and the 12 tribe chart, right? That's nothing new. That's nothing new. That's what Jeremiah did outside of Jerusalem at the East Gate. When you see Israelites on the same corner preaching and teaching, that's because that spirit has come back and is doing the same thing. Right? So when we understand Malachi's ministry, guess what? Malachi was rebuking the children of Israel. Why? Because of their laziness, because of their religious, pious superficiality that they started to engraft into the culture, as if the Most High was not a living God, right? The Most High had to show Israel so many times, I'm a living God. I told you this was going to happen to you. You see them slave ships that you was questioning your whole life? In 4th grade, 5th grade, 6th grade, I told you this in my word before there was a such thing as a U.S. history textbook. This was written down in stone. You agreed that you were going to be my people. I chose you. And so Malachi, when the second temple is being, when the priests are in office, they're doing something that is very displeasing to the Lord. And Malachi has to be the messenger of God and deliver this message to the priests and to Judah. So Judah and Levi were present here, and he had to speak harsh words to the children of Israel. But I always say the prophets had a little bit of a harder task than we do. Because imagine talking to a Judite on a throne, rebuking a Judite outside of the palace. And this is a Judite that got grills, gold chains, power. Right? 50 cents times 1,000. He ain't afraid to murder. Right? Because he's an Israelite king, and here come an Israelite prophet with a rough garment on, shaking his hand outside his gate, like the Most High gonna kill you. Right? That's difficult. Right? The white man has a fierce countenance, and we go outside of his gate. We've been to DC. Right? The Israelites have gone outside of ancient Susa, around the palace of Haman, right, and casted lots for his judgment, right? But it's more difficult when you're doing it to somebody who is given the room for repentance, and he chooses not to. But yet he just chooses to do what? Like Isaiah, tie you between two trees and saw you in half with a wooden saw, right? Your own people, right? So The test of Malachi is very important to understand what he was going up against. He's going up against us, priests, right? So let's open it up with Malachi 1. Understanding the dispensation of time. Everybody on track?
Malachi chapter 1, verse 1. The burden of the word of the Lord to Israel by Malachi.
See, to Israel. Now, when we go to that word burden, it's King's English, but it means vision, right? Or oracle. Something he saw. So, when you see stuff and you wake up from a nightmare, I've talked to brothers like, yo, I had a dream last night. The whole world was just blowing up. I hear that a lot. Bombs was dropping. We was running. That's a burden. Because you wake up in what? Nightmare and tears and fear. You start praying. Because that's the Lord. He's shaking your spirit in the middle of the night. He's sending you visions. Right? To move you from your purpose. Right? And commit to his. Right? Go ahead.
Verse 2. I have loved you, saith the Lord. Yet ye say, wherein hast thou loved us?
See, this is the mind Israel had. Israel is being so self-righteous and so selfish to the Lord right now. They said, well, how have you loved us?
Yeah.
Wow. Now think about what they're going through right now, right? During this time, I want you to look up Artaxerxes the first, right? Longimanus. Artaxerxes the first Longimanus. I just want to show you, give you a little setting. Because remember, we're still under the Persians at this time. We're not under the Greeks. We're still under the Achaemenid dynasty rule and a satrapy. A satrapy is a province. The Persian provinces were called satrapies. And guess what? A lot of northern kingdom Israelites and southern kingdom Israelites were absorbed in those Persian satrapies, right? But now you have the commonwealth of Judea being built, but still under the Persian satrapy. Excuse me, right? So look up Artaxerxes the first Longimanus. Can you blow that up? I just want to see. We ain't got to go to images. I just want to get a brief history of it. Because this is during the time Malachi's ministry was. Shalom. Artaxerxes the first. Now I want Longimanus. Long.
Right there.
Yeah, it might be. His reign was 426 or 4. Let me get it real quick. Salaki, bear with me.
465 and 424.
460. Yeah, that's the one I want. Yeah, right there. So he is on. That's the one I wanted. Yeah, go back to the one you had right there. Wait, is that no? Longimanus. Just go to Artaxerxes the first. So he ran from 465 BC after Darius, right? Well, shortly after the Persian king. There's 1 second. All right. So this is where you get Longimanus from, Salaki. This is the right one, right? Long hand, right? That's where you get manos, hand, right? So it says, he was surnamed in Greek Macrotier and in Latin Longimanus, right? Long hand. A younger son of Xerxes the first and Amestris. There we go. And Amestris, he was raised to the throne by the commander of the guard, Artabanus, who had murdered Xerxes. A few months later, Artaxerxes slew Artabanus in a hand-to-hand fight, right? His reign, though generally peaceful, was disturbed by several insurrections, the first of which was the revolt of his brother the satrap, you see the satrap, as we get satrapies, plural, of Bactria. That was basically their home base. So it says, more dangerous was the rebellion of Egypt under Inaros, who received assistance from the Athenians. Achaemenid rule in Egypt was restored by Megabesus, satrap of Syria. You guys see all these satraps, that's the point I'm trying to make, right? Judea was a satrap of these Persian kings, right? So this is just a little bit of brief history if you want to go into. Malachi and the priests were under these satrapies. Zerubbabel came back, but he wasn't a king. He was a governor. He was a king in our eyes, but to the Persian emperors, he was a governor, because that's what he was called in the scripts, right? So let's go back to Malachi chapter 1, verses 1. And so we understand now that the Israelites during this time, the southern kingdom in Judea, they're under the Persians still. So they're looking around like, wherein have you loved us? Right. You have to understand something about Israel. Israel always was presumptuous concerning the Messiah coming in a dispensation when there was sense of victory. Okay, so they were automatically, the Messiah. Remember, many Israelites, asserted themselves up to be messiahs, even during the time of Christ. We went over Simon Magnus, Simon Bar Kokhba, Theudius. We went over all those false messiahs. Well, during that time, they were always looking and searching like, this must be the Messianic kingdom to come, right? But when Israel started to see that things were flowing a little bit, more common than they thought, they automatically started to do what? Their zeal began to die, and they began to be real lackadaisical with serving the Lord, real relaxed and not being committed to his laws. So they saying, where as you loved us, Lord? Where? We're still the bottom of the barrel, right? But they didn't understand the Lord's ultimate expected end through the Messiah at his second coming. This is why it's so important why Malachi mentions Elijah in the chapters after this, right? Because they're always looking for the Messianic kingdom to come at their time when they need it to be, right? Now understanding this is a process of faith as a nation. When the Lord said, can a nation be born in one day? In Isaiah. Israel, we're still going through the process of being reborn as a people, identifying who we are and realizing how we messed up and coming back and returning back to our God. So it's going to take centuries, it's going to take millenniums for us to get there into that kingdom and to understand that we always should have hoped in our God, right? So read that from the top again, verse 2.
Malachi chapter 1, verse 2. I have loved you, saith the Lord. Yet ye say, wherein hast thou loved us? Was not Esau Jacob's brother, saith the Lord? Yet I love Jacob.
So he said, look, man, y'all coming at me saying, wherein have you loved us? But he's like, well, what about your brother Esau? I completely rejected him at birth. Didn't I tell you and let you know that I've loved you? Even though you were born in the same womb. Even though you were born from the same womb. I rejected Esau before y'all were born, and I've chosen you, and I've loved you. Deuteronomy 10 and 15. And Deuteronomy 33 and 3. Come.
Deuteronomy chapter 10, verse 15. Only the Lord had a delight in thy fathers to love them.
See, only the Lord had a delight in thy fathers to love them. Wasn't nobody else thinking about Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. They wasn't thinking about Joseph in that prison house for 7 years. Laban wasn't thinking about Jacob's labor, right? Nobody was thinking about us, but the Lord considered us the apple of his very own eye and put us in the land that he considers his favorite. So he favored us. And the Lord is saying, look, this is where I favored you. Since your conception, I favored you. Deuteronomy 33:3.
Deuteronomy chapter 33, verse 3. Yea, he loved the people. All his saints are in thy hand.
See that? He loved the people, speaking of Israel. All his saints is in his hand. The same thing going on in the days of Malachi. Look, I don't even realize y'all in my hand now. But as a father, I have to chastise you. Because he chastises whom he loves. Right? Go ahead.
And they sat down at thy feet. Everyone shall receive of thy words.
Wait, read that from the top.
Yea, he loved the people. All his saints are in thy hand. And they sat down at thy feet. Everyone shall receive of thy words.
You see that? So that's what Israel has to learn what to perceive. Receiving the words of the prophets, receiving the word of the Lord through the prophets. That's the Most High Spirit, right? But our people not trying to receive these words. So that's why you're like, oh Lord, where has you love me? Woe is me. Don't you understand how much the Lord loved you? He gave his only begotten son, right? To die for you, right? His disciples died for you, right? Laid their life down for you. And we over here questioning, where the hell you love me, Lord? Right? I don't got the best job. My daddy was a rolling stone. Guess what? Psalm 27:10 says, if your mother and your father forsake you, I, the Lord, will raise you up. I've always been your father. Right? Amos 3:2. And Hosea 2:18.
Amos chapter 3, verse 2. You only have I known of all the families of the earth.
See, you talking about wherein have you loved me, but you only have I known in all the families of the earth. Name me one nation that has wrote on relics and reliefs and spoken great things such as you. You actually exalt the Creator. You call upon the name of the Creator. I gave the nations their gods to identify themselves with. You alone have I chosen to be my very own special, peculiar people, my peculiar treasure. That peculiar treasure is you being a light. When you open up a treasure chest, that bling is bling blowing. That's you. Right? Go ahead. You to the top. Verse 2.
You only have I known of all the families of the earth. Therefore, I will punish you for all your iniquities.
You see, if he is not a good father, he would let us do what the hell we want. But he has to discipline his children. That has been my word of the week since last week. Discipline, discipline, discipline. Discipline is not always, don't touch that. Discipline is set my alarm clock for 7:30 so I could wake up and make breakfast or pack a lunch, right? And don't keep hitting the snooze button until 8:15 and then get to work like, see, my life messed up. No, the fool's sitting there waiting like, it's been 45 minutes, Negro. Discipline. You see, part of being a disciple is having discipline and being proactive, knowing your weaknesses, knowing what you have to work on, right? So knowing that about ourselves, the Father's going to make sure you know that about yourself, right? By showing you, okay, you stumbled here, you stumbled there, it's because you lack discipline in this area, right? That's a part of learning and growing in this truth and understanding He is your Heavenly Father. And you are a disciple of His Son. You are His younger brother and His younger sister, right? So discipline comes with this walk. Chastisement comes with this walk, right? Hosea 2:18.
It's the book of Hosea, Chapter 2, verse 18. And in that day will I make a covenant for them with the beasts of the field, and with the fowls of heaven, and with the creeping things of the ground.
Now that's something a little bit more anthropomorphic.
You said 18?
Yeah, 2 and 18 Hosea. That's something a little bit more anthropomorphic. My God, I love that word. Anthropomorphism is when the Lord, he uses his creature, like when you see the lion of Babylon, the four-headed leopard, the bear, right? They all have a meaning behind it, right? So he could show mankind in an illustration, a particular, I don't like to say, through the vision, there's a meaning behind it, but he'll use his creatures. Like he'll use the sun, like the woman who in Revelation 12, she had the sun, she was clothed with the sun. He's using a portion of his creation to teach man how he translates information through visions, right? So anthro means man. Promorphism is morph. So he's teaching men or his people how to identify, like the serpent in the garden, right? Christians don't understand the Lord and the motif serpent throughout the scriptures. It has a meaning, right? They think that's a literal serpent, but it's just the Lord using what they call anthropomorphism, right? He's teaching you something through his creatures, right? That's anthropomorphism. So that Hosea 2 and 18 is going to something a little bit outside of the topic. It's more in depth, but let's go to verse 19.
Verse 19. And I will betroth thee unto me forever.
See, we're going to enter into the marriage of the Lamb. That's the wife coming out of her chamber. I'll just give y'all the beast and all of that is talking about the other nations and things of that nature. Everything is gonna realize that we are the people of God, right? So it's not talking about them coming into an everlasting covenant as far as, all the Gentiles being saved, but you got Israelites who are amongst those Gentiles, remember. So we're going to lie down safely because the Lord have betrothed us to Yahushua. So now in that day, when we enter into the marriage supper of the Lamb, we're going to lie down safely, and everyone's going to know this is the Lord's people. The Lord has loved them and made Esau's heritage waste. We're going to know that in that day when we go back to that Malachi, but continue.
Yea, I will betroth thee unto me in righteousness, and in judgment, and in love and kindness, and in mercies. I will even betroth thee unto me in faithfulness, and thou shalt know the Lord. Mm-hmm. And it shall come to pass in that day.
Well, that's good right there. So we're going to know that the Lord has been with us. Well, there was a time where our people was like, he ain't with us. And that was the times of Malachi that we're reading right now. You just came out of captivity in Babylon, 538 BC. It's been about 100 years since the temple was complete. And you're complaining that the Lord is not with you. You don't even see your own progress, right? It may be the first phases of the kingdom, but you don't even see your own progress and how your Lord has given you the mercy. After all y'all wickedness y'all committed against me, and y'all still complaining. Right? Go ahead, Malachi.
Malachi chapter 1, verse 3. And I hated Esau and laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness.
See that? Laid his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness. What's the dragons of the wilderness? All of them countries getting ready to destroy the Edomite kingdom, right? Via war, right? That's what that's going into, right? So let's get that in Jeremiah 49, verse 17. Jeremiah 49, verse 17.
Jeremiah chapter 49, verse 17. Also Edom shall be a desolation. Everyone that goeth by it shall be astonished, and shall hiss at all the plagues thereof.
So when it says hiss, dang, that's what hiss is. Like when you go, right? Everybody's gonna walk by all of the great monuments of what they established in their forefathers and their statues, and they're gonna see the damn Statue of Liberty had knocked over, like you see in the movies, right? Gonna be destroyed. Go ahead.
Verse 18, as in the overthrow of Sodom and Gomorrah.
See that? Sodom and Gomorrah was destroyed with what? Fire and brimstone. So those dragons of the wilderness represents them coming to them in war. And it's going to be with fire. Matter of fact, give me Isaiah chapter 9, verses 5. Right? It's going to be with fuel of fire. Right? And give me Job 18 and 14. And Revelation 9 and 11. Is that 3?
You want me to stop right there?
Yeah, stop right there. And you hold it, but you hold it. Yeah, get Isaiah 9 and 5.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 9, verse 5. For every battle of the warrior is with confused noise.
You see, every battle of the war is with confused noise, just like you see in the 300, like you see in Alexander, these movies, a gladiator, right? They got swords and right? They're coming cling, 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 right? That's how war is. That's how war was in ancient times, but this war gonna be different. Go ahead.
And garments rolled in blood, but this shall be with burning and fuel of fire.
You see, this one gonna be, it ain't gonna be no garments of blood rolled up with a sword through somebody. It's gonna be a fuel of fire, right? It's gonna be missiles being launched, intercontinental ballistic missiles, right? ICBM, right? Nukes. Right? Go to Job 18 and 14. Yep, verse 14.
Job chapter 18, verse 14. His confidence shall be rooted out.
This is the white man's confidence being rooted out. He thinking he gonna be playing up with the planets after he destroy our side. He gonna be, his posterity gonna be all through the earth. They're gonna genocide, billions of people, right? The Lord said all that's going to be shut down, right? You think you're going to be the mass genocide? You think you're going to be responsible for killing? Well, I am on Judgment Day. How about that? You think you're going to bring the numbers down? The outside going to bring them damn numbers down, right? The Israelites, and it's going to be through righteousness. It says, and he doth judge and make war, right? And it's going to be righteous, right? Because we're going to be putting down wicked, right? Go ahead.
His confidence shall be rooted out of his tabernacle, and it shall bring him to the king of terrors.
You see, the king of terrors, a lot of people in the Israelite community, we teach here, this king of terrors is the nuke. And I'm going to prove that. Right? This is how the white man's kingdom is going to be destroyed. We were promised to have an everlasting world, right? But the king of terrors is the nuclear bomb that the Lord put in the mind of the smith that blows the coal in the chamber, right? He's blowing the coal in the fire, making the atomic bomb and the nuclear bomb. He put that in his mind, right? Well, go ahead.
Verse 15.
See, watch, it's going to expound.
It shall dwell in his tabernacle, because it is none of his.
See, the king of terrors, is going to dwell in his tabernacle because it is none of his. Remember, the Lord said he's going to overthrow them in Jeremiah 49 like Sodom and Gomorrah. Fire and brimstone. Watch, go ahead.
Brimstone shall be scattered upon his habitation.
See, that's the king of terrors. Right? Brimstone going to be scattered upon his habitation. Now give me Revelation 9 and 11.
Revelation chapter 9, verse 11. And they had a king over them.
See, who's the they Revelation 9 is talking about airplanes, missiles, right? I got a breakdown on that. If y'all want me to send it out on the Panah files, I'll send it out. Because what John was seeing, these locusts were these airplanes, these jets flying. And the hair-like woman was the smoke coming out of the exhaust pipes. And they would strike men like a scorpion, which is the bomb shooting down. But remember, he couldn't understand what he was seeing, right? The king that was over them, right? One that was mightier than what they could do was the nuke. And it's going to get ready to explain it to you guys. Go ahead.
And they had a king over them, which is the angel of the bottomless pit.
There you go.
Whose name in the Hebrew tongue.
Now, why would John say whose name is in the Hebrew tongue? Because this name would be found somewhere in prophecy. All we got to search is, what's the word?
Abaddon.
Which is father of indignation, or father of judgment, excuse me, for the Most High's indignation against Edom. He's going to use that, right, to destroy Edom. Then he's going to come in the midst of that destruction, which we call Armageddon. And he's going to annihilate the rest of the nations, right? And in the Greek tongue, what?
But in the Greek tongue hath his name Apollyon.
Okay, so that's going into the destroyer, right? Remember, he said he's going to create the waster to destroy. Let me bring that out, Isaiah 54:16, and then give me Job 22 and 28. So we can see how this is going to take place concerning Esau. Job 22, 28.
When you said Apollyon, I know what he said. That
The Greek destroyer.
Isaiah chapter 54, verse 16. Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire.
See, remember, the Most High is making this. He's the one that birthed Albert Einstein. He's the one in there putting in the hearts of all of the kings to fulfill his will against Babylon. And they're going to do what? Burn her with fire, the scriptures say. Right?
You know, they say that that guy, Jack Parsons, who created that bomb, they said they were doing seances in the actual warehouse where they were making it, and they still don't know how they made it. Like it was a seance or whatever they went through.
Yeah, like they do all types of they do all types of magic and spells and things of that nature. You know, when the witches be like cauldron, bubble, and all of that, like they do. Listen, they get all types of mysteries from spirits. That's very real. Okay, when you go into these secrets of the dark world and things, that's the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Right? You're gonna become gods. No good and evil. Right? On Job 22, and we finished that Isaiah 54.
What's that? I want to hear that. Job 20 what?
22 and 28.
Wow.
Isaiah chapter 54, verse 16. Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work. And I have created the waster to destroy.
Salakia, Job 28 and 22. Salakia, I got the numbers next up. So he created the waster to destroy. That's the king, right? That's going to be prepared for a day and an hour and a month and a year to destroy mankind, a portion of mankind, right? Job 28 and 22.
It's the book of Job, chapter 28, verse 22. Destruction and death say.
Now remember, destruction and death, they're not people, but they're saying something. That's the personification of destruction and death. We can see it personified in Revelation 6 and 8. The name that rode that pale horse, his name was Death, and hell followed after it. Yeah. When you read Habakkuk 2 and 4, it tell you his spirit within him is not upright. and he as death, right? So death can be personified, and the white man embodies that spirit of destruction and death. So what is destruction and death saying? Just like Samaki Allah brought out, they was in a whole seance and didn't even understand how they was built. That's death and destruction. They're possessed with evil, fulfilling judgment. Most High's left hand, right? So Esau is going to face that destruction. He was predetermined that. So you got Israel like, oh, you loved us. Would you rather be an Edomite? No. What about Ishmaelite? Anybody? Any hands? Might want to be a Moabite? Ammonite?
All set.
All set. Where does you love me, Lord? How about you be one of the heathen? You'll see. Hearing Israelites telling you you're going to be destroyed in this world, you had your time. That's the greatest blessing to ever have. But
I don't mean it.
you speak up louder though.
Yeah, you know my sister Keisha.
Mm-hmm.
You know she practiced all of that now. She called herself a witch. She got a table where she channeled. She talked to. She said it's not evil. It's that she's talking to all her ancestors.
Yeah, that's that. A lot of our black women are getting into witchcraft.
Heavy.
Getting into it, leaving the Christian church, getting into witchcraft, all of that.
I don't even go to her house anymore.
Don't.
It's crazy. It
I
feels
delivered
crazy.
to this place that has like crystals and stuff, and you go there and you feel the vibe is very eerie. You know, like very dark. Like you see, like and this is an Eve with
That's death.
like an Eve selling crystals, saying, "Oh, this crystal does this," and even before you go into the door, it tells you you're being watched by a cat, and karma's gonna get you or something. I don't know. You meant she's gonna do.
Yeah, so read that, Job 28:22.
Job chapter 28, verse 22. Destruction and death say, we have heard the fame thereof with our ears.
See, we heard the fame thereof with our ears. So you got the white man, he's the victor of the whole world. I always tell people, when they play that song, We Are the Champions, it's not talking about we won the Super Bowl. It's not talking about we won the NBA championship, FIFA champions. We are the champions of the world, and the white man has become the champion over the whole world, and he's rejoicing in that. So guess what? Death and destruction, like we heard your fame. We heard you loud and clear, and we ready. It's been spoken of since the beginning, right? Get that word destruction while you finish that scripture, but get destruction in the Hebrew. Yeah, read it again now.
It's Job 28, verse 22. Chapter 28, verse 22. Destruction and death say, we have heard the fame thereof with our ears.
See, they're always prepared. Death and destruction is sitting right at the Most High, like, whenever we ready, Lord. Just like the angel of death came and destroyed them Egyptians, guess what? That spirit is in the earth. It's going to be sent from the Most High to launch the missiles to make Esau's heritage waste. So get that in the Hebrew, destruction.
It says Abaddon.
Abaddon, it's right there. It's in the Hebrew tongue, Abaddon. So this king that was over them is how they're going to be destroyed in this World War III. Right? Go ahead.
Abstractly, a perishing, concretely Hades, destruction.
Well, that's
blue letter if you want.
Yeah, that's modern. We understand what it is, but it's Abaddon. Right? Hades just fire. It's going to be damn Hades. Not a subterranean region, but it's going to be right here in the terrain. Right? It's going to be remember, it's going to be like an oven, man. And that's Esau's kingdom being destroyed. So the people in Malachi's time, they can't even see the prophecies of Jeremiah concerning all the other nations, of Isaiah concerning all the other nations, Hosea, etc., though they read the scrolls and they still like, when have you loved us? You know why? Because they have not been visited by the Messiah to understand, listen, it's going to be a day and time. Hope in me. I am the way, the truth, and the life. And Malachi sets the tone for all of those Israelites during the Second Temple period in the 1st century AD. He sets the record straight. Okay, this is when we will appoint ourselves our head and trust in our King and our Messiah to usher us into our kingdom that is forever and ever. Right? They didn't understand this back then. Right? One last precept before we continue Malachi, 2nd Ezra 6 and 9. A classic precept.
2nd Ezra, chapter 6, verse 9. For Esau is the end of the world.
See?
And Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth.
So we know who's ruling now. We know who's ruling now. It's Esau. And this is how you know that the so-called white man is Esau, because the Bible just lets you know. And we're trying to enter into our world, and we know it's the last days and it's the end. Well, if Esau was granted the end of the world, well, we're the beginning of his end. Right? Right. Let's go back to Malachi. I'm at Jeremiah 49.
Jeremiah.
Start from 17 again.
Jeremiah chapter 49, verse 17. Also Edom shall be a desolation. Everyone that goeth by it shall be astonished, and shall hiss at all the plagues thereof. As in the overthrow of Sodom and Gomorrah, and the neighbor, as in the overthrow of Sodom and Gomorrah, and the neighbor cities thereof, saith the Lord. No man shall abide there, neither shall a son of man dwell in it. Behold, he shall come up like a lion from the swelling of Jordan.
That's telling you that none of them gonna remain. Going into Obadiah, verse 18. None of them are gonna remain. How many? Now we understand the spiritual aspect of Sodomites, but is there an ancient Sodomite that could come and say, yeah, our ancestors lived there? No. Right? You can't do that with the Girgashites, with the Perizzites. You can't do that with those 7 nations that the Most High destroyed that were considered Canaanites. 7 nations of the Canaanites, the Most High destroyed them. We don't have much knowledge of them. Well, that's going to be the so-called white man when this world is through with it. Through with it. Generations to come, they're not even going to know there were people like that.
They were pink.
Yeah, they were pink. And green too when they get sick. Right? And blue when they get sad. Right? And yellow when they get was it scarlet fever? Or jaundice, whatever. But go ahead now.
It's the book of Psalms, chapter 37 and verse 10. For yet a little while, and the wicked shall not be. Yea, thou shalt diligently consider his place, and it shall not be.
There you go. He shall not be. You brought another precept to my mind. Job 41:33. Really quick. He's got to understand this about the so-called white man, because we're going to go into him a little bit in Malachi, so we might as well just go into him all the way to a degree. All right? Job 41, verse 33. Yeah, those new Bible pages.
It's the book of Job, chapter 41, verse 33. upon earth there is not his like.
See, upon earth, there's nobody like this man. Right? Now, this is double fold. A lot of people think this is Leviathan is proverbial. Right? On earth, there is not his like. Right? Go ahead.
Who is made without fear.
He's made without fear. The white man has no reverence for God, no reverence for his own life. This is why you got Jackass, MTV, and they're doing all this crazy stuff, and they're jumping in oceans and all types of stuff. They're without fear. Right? They'll risk their life. Risk their life for them. Yeah. They just play games where you're like, hey, dude, man, jump off the cliff. All right, man. Dude. Heather's here. Dude, I have to get her. And end up dead the next morning. Yeah, just trying to be super brave. No, just no knowledge for life, man. Don't care for him. He's a creature without fear. So the Most High made him that way, right? As an example of what not to be on the earth. We won't do that ever again after Esau rules. We will never get to that degree of wickedness, ever. It's not ever going to get there. No corruption going to enter it, right? Let's go back to Malachi. Verse 4.
Malachi chapter 1, verse 4. Whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places.
And that has been a continual approach, right? That we see Edomites have made in history. When there were dukes in Edom, right? Remember, David put the Edomites in garrisons, right? That was the Lord's trustworthy king. Put them in garrisons. They break out of them, right? Israel goes into captivity, and what happens? They burn up the temple. They're the ones that burn down the city. The scriptures say in Ezra, right? Then they become what we call the Greco-Romans. I'm just roughly going through history, skimming over. The Greco-Romans. Now they remember, this is Jacob and Esau, boom, boom, warning from the womb, right? We overthrow them, and it becomes what's called the Dark Ages or the medieval times. Yeah, Revelation 20. Yeah. And going and bring that out, Revelation 20. The angel, the dragon in the bottomless pit. Right?
Go straight to verse 2. Revelation chapter 20, verse 2. And he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years.
So when he was bound 1,000 years, this is when he was the serf and the Slav, the indentured servant, right? Under the ruling Israelite black people in medieval times. We were the ruling class. We could post many pictures up, but for time's sake, we're not going to do that. You got all of the royal black families, the coats of arms, who stated that they were Jews, who stated that they were Israelites, right? Who on their shields had shields of David, right? Where you get the police wear the badges, representing the judicial system, the police. That's all. That's the shield of David. That was black men. The shoulder pads with the fringes hanging off, that's Israel. Right? The ribbon of blue going down, that's Israel.
The sheriff badge.
Wow.
Yeah, the sheriff badge. That comes from Europe. Right?
That's a slave. The king, the king, what's his name? They be wearing them jackets like that with the fringes right here.
Right, yeah, that's what came from Israelites.
Yeah.
We were the judges. That's why when the white man in the 1700s used to wear the white wig, it was for the white woolly hair of the judges in Europe. Right? With the braid in the back. Israelites used to do that. Right? So we were the ruling class. And they were bound for 1,000 years. Right? You go into who Pernicius Niger is, Septimius Severus, when and these were two black emperors, man. Right, and this is when you started to see the establishment of what? The medieval period, when blacks started to rule Europe. Man, we was always in Europe, but we was granted power. We started to defeat the Roman. The Gallics was warring with the Romans, the Galatians, the Goths. They've been always warring with Rome. Right, when we finally put him in the bottomless pit, which is at a lower state in Europe. That's the bottomless pit, right? He was bound for 1,000 years, right? Go ahead.
And cast him into the bottomless pit, and shut him up, and set a seal upon him.
You see, shut him up and set a seal upon him, which is why in 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, Paul says, he shall be revealed in his time. Right? We already know the mystery of iniquity already doeth work. Paul was speaking circumspectly because he was under the Roman Empire. He could have been in prison and killed if he just flat out said it. But he was speaking circumspectly to his churches. Right? So now, when it says a seal was put on him, that means he's going to be revealed and loosed for a short period after that seal is broken, right? Because he's got to come and fulfill what the Lord called him to fulfill, the left hand and his end. Because remember, Isaac gave him a blessing to have the fatness of the earth, the dew of heaven. You're going to live by the sword, but he's the Lord's sword on the earth, right? Get that in Psalm 17, verses 14. Read.
That he should deceive the nations no more.
So he was bound, so he won't deceive the nations anymore, meaning the Greeks and the Romans came up to deceive the whole world. But when we destroyed them in wars, right, we kept them at a state where he couldn't get rulership and power to the Catholic Church, empowered him through the humanism period. And then we had what's called the Renaissance period. And this is him and Malachi saying, we shall return. So what does Renaissance mean? Rebirth. Rebirth what? The so-called white man back in his power. We are returning back to our seat. It's our time to rule again, Jake. Right, so they're going to build up the desolate places. They're going to go paint over all of the faces and antiquities, and during the medieval times, they're gonna deceive us again, right? You got that?
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 17, verse 14. From men which are thy hand, O Yahweh, from men of the world.
No, wait, verse 13.
13. Yeah. Verse 13. Arise, O Yahweh, disappoint him, cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword.
You see that? Deliver my soul from the wicked, which is your sword. And we know Esau was blessed with the sword. He's the wicked over the earth. He's the Most High sword. The Lord said he created the wicked for what? The day of evil. So when the Lord said, okay, listen, I need something to take place over here because I need to cast judgment. The white guy gonna stand up and like, I'll go handle it. That's it. He's the wicked, right? He's gonna go shoot up something, a damn movie theater or something, just for the day of evil, right? He spearheads that, right? He's the wicked. He's the Most High sword, right? He was the sword against us when he caught us in the straits, who sold us across the oceans, and robbed and raped and pillaged. And he was the Most High sword against us, to testify against us, right? According to what we did to him, right? Go ahead.
Revelation 20.
Yeah, Revelation 20.
Till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled.
You see, so after the 1,000 years, right, he's got to break out of that seal, right? Go ahead.
And after that, he must be loosed a little season.
So he's going to be loosed a little season, right? When you go to Revelation chapter 12, verses 9, it says he deceived the whole world Satan knows that his time is but short, and that's the so-called white man. Revelation 6 and 4, to make it very colorful.
It's the book of Revelation, chapter 6, verse 4. And there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat there on to take peace from the earth.
See, power was given to him, right? You think the white man just, I'm the champion of the world. No. You are living in your time, and power was given to you, right? To do what?
And power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth.
To take peace from the earth. Remember, by his peace shall he destroy many. So he didn't come in peace. He come to take peace. Right? Go ahead.
And that they should kill one another. And there was given unto him a great sword.
So now he's expounding. He had a great sword. Man, he got all types of weapons. He don't just got guns. He weaponizes everything. He weaponizes the air. He weaponizes the water. He weaponizes the cell phone. He weaponizes blankets. He put disease in blankets. Right? He weaponizes everything. Right? Wiping out civilizations. He weaponizing a needle and telling you it's good for you. Yo, I literally saw a Richard Blumenthal commercial. He was like, we're trying to get more microchips. Literally, it's a commercial. We're trying to get more microchips into Connecticut. And literally doctors were behind him. Support our microchip fund. Like what the heck? I'm like, where is this coming from? Microchips? Are they gonna put them in us? Right. But he's not saying what these are you talking about microchips for a remote control? No, he's talking about microchips he's gonna put in humans. That's a great sword, man. If you are not in his control, you're gonna push a button, you drop dead, cyanide, go bloop, right into your veins, you gone. Like they do the spies.
I watched him do that to a cat, change its emotions, with the touch of a button, made it attack that or make it be peaceful.
Yeah, that's them wanting to be God. Let me say, I'm gonna be like God.
And they do with the animals with microchips. They just scan the chip, and they got the address, the name of the dog, and all. So it's gonna be the same thing with us. It's cop will just scan your microchip and then know everything about you.
Yeah.
New Zealand. They got it over there in New Zealand. That's what the testing ground was, New Zealand.
And that's how they're gonna make that away. I seen a thing where they're gonna make that away again to a store or something like that. You gotta wave your hand, and then the doors are open into the stores.
Right.
I saw a video. This was 1990s. There was an IBM commercial, and you could see the guy. He's taking stuff, and then this is early 90s, and then he goes out you see that? And then he goes out, and then it's like a self-checkout, and he's just putting things in his bag and his coat, and he just walks out, and just facial recognition, it just get out. So they've been.
Yeah, that when you look in your phone and they know your face, everybody got Facebook. Well, they know everyone's face. They know everyone's face. They got drones. They got damn mosquito drones, man. Yeah. Mosquitoes that are drones. So let's continue back in Malachi. So, and he's gonna expound.
Malachi chapter 1, verse 4. Whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places.
Impoverished meaning we are oppressed. Go ahead.
Thus saith the Lord of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down.
You see that? The Lord gonna throw down. Though they have all of these agendas, though they build all of these cities, The Most High is going to throw their cities down. They could do all the building they want. The Most High is going to destroy that. Right? Go ahead.
And they shall call them the border of wickedness.
See, what that means is the territory of wickedness. Is that not what everyone calls him under the sun? The devil. Right, it's the Torah. It means white devil. Go ahead.
Lamentations chapter 4, verse 21. Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom, that dwellest in the land of Uz. The cup also shall pass through unto thee. Thou shalt be drunken and make thyself naked. The punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion. He will no longer carry thee away into captivity. He will visit thy iniquity, O daughter of Edom. He will discover thy sins.
There you go. He will discover Edom's sins. Edom has transgressed by touching the Most High God's people. He offended us. Right? Let's go back to Malachi.
And the people against whom the Lord hath indignation forever.
So they're going to be called the border of wickedness, and the people against whom Yahweh hath indignation forever. You don't want to argue with that. Right? That's how the Lord feels. Right? The Lord said, spare not. He said, spare not concerning what we say. You're not supposed to spare. That's what the Lord says. Right? Verse 5.
And your eyes shall see, and ye shall say, the Lord will be magnified from the border of Israel.
So what that's saying is we're going to see the destruction of Esau when he throws down on them. Now, why is Malachi saying this about them in this era? Because they don't understand they don't understand the entire picture yet. But Malachi sees it, because remember it says the burden or the oracle of God. It's an oracle. It's about you laboring and doing my work, because at the end of this, it's something greater for you. You don't even see 2,400 years down the line. But my prophet is telling you that he's loved you more than you can imagine, because the very twin brother that came out before you, remember that your father took Esau's heel, and he was created and predetermined for desolation. But you, on behalf, were blessed. You, I made a covenant and an oath with to be above all nations. But you are missing the mark. You are missing the mark. You're too busy worried about what you got going on in you, and you can't even see the end is better than your beginning. Right? So he's teaching them a principle. He said, Yahweh will be magnified from the border of Israel, which means from beyond Israel. That means all nations and all lands is going to see this coming from the sky. Just like in ancient Egypt, all the nations heard round about what Yahweh did to the ancient Egyptians. That's going to happen again. The Lord is going to be magnified from beyond Israel, beyond the land. Right? That's what it's talking about. Verse 6.
A son honoreth his father, and a servant his master. If then I be a father, where is my honor?
You see that? Now, if I'm a father, if I'm looking down for you, where's my honor? The very law says, honor your mother and your father. Servants, obey your master. Like, where is my honor? Where is your obedience to me? Right? Go ahead.
And if I be a master, where is my fear?
Where is my reverence? If I'm the master of the universe, if I'm your God, where is my reverence and where is my respect? You're talking about where have you loved us? You're like, where have you respected me? Right? This works both ways. Go ahead.
Saith Yahweh of hosts unto you, O priests that despise my name.
See, O priests that despise my name. You despise my reputation. You actually pollute my name. Right? You don't serve me with joy and willingness. It's a burden to you to serve me, to be around the altar and give me my offering, my burnt offering. You're around the fire like, it's all this heat, man. I'm tired, man. God, too much. Right? And let alone when we're about to read what they're putting on the altar is even more disgraceful. Being called set apart priests and holy people and peculiar and special and worthy to be above the nations. But yet you half-assed. Right? Go ahead.
And ye say, wherein have we pleased? Suck it. And ye say, wherein have we despised thy name?
You see Israel looking around like, where have we despised this guy? Is y'all disrespectful? Like, where's my respect? You don't even self-reflect at the end of the day? That's why when we get to Malachi 3, it's very important that what we're doing right now, just for the simple fact that we are searching for mercy from him, we're going to be written in that scroll, the scriptures say. What's that scroll? The book of life. We are all trying to, the Abishai said, the kingdom is like a gate that all men presseth into. You imagine trying to get in the place and it was life or death and everybody trying to get in it. You make it in and you get out the way. You trying to get in, everybody, it's this little gate and everybody, it's noise. The whole world trying to press into this gate. Right? And we're trying to press our way into the book of life. Right? We're trying to make it into that. Where we're going to receive a crown and we're going to receive a name in which we, and just to let y'all know, we all written in this book. All of us. How do I know? You're going to be amongst the quickened or amongst the dead. Right? When he saw Babylon and he saw them suffer, right, in the lake of fire that burneth with brimstone, he saw Americans. He saw the judgment of fire and the part where they came together to fight against Yahweh. We're all in the book. Right? But we want to make it to where when our generations, when all this is said and done and Yahweh rewards us for the kingdom, most high willing, we want to be written down as one of the pillars of his kingdom and a name that is forever mentioned amongst men. Right? That's the book of life. Right? It's not a list of names, Gary, Tom, Cedric. Like that's not what it's talking about. Right? You want to make it into where people are speaking about you like how we speak about Abraham. See what I'm saying? Like how we speak about David. Right? We got feats to complete. We got missions to complete, not missions to abort. Right? The Lord gave us an expected end. Right? Let's go to Luke 6:46.
This is the book of Luke, chapter 6, verse 46. And why call ye me Yahweh? Yahweh.
Let's read it as it is. That's Yahweh speaking.
Why call ye me Lord, Lord, and do not the things which I say?
So why are you calling me Lord, Lord, and you don't do the things that I say? Right? Where is my reverence? Where is my respect? Where is my fear? Right? You calling me Lord, Lord, but you don't do the things that I say. So this is the same thing that is going on in the days of Malachi. You say, Lord, Lord. Right? Give me Isaiah 29, verse 13. Lord, Lord, we love you. Singing prayers in the temple. Singing Psalms of David. Right? But your heart is not with the Lord. Go ahead.
It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 29, verse 13. Wherefore the Lord said, for as much as this people draw near me with their mouth and with their lips do honor me, but have removed their heart far from me, and their fear toward me is taught by the precept of men.
You see, their fear towards the Lord is taught by the precept of men. Oh man, come on, he'll forgive you. He's a loving God. Yeah, he is, but you don't know if that was your last time. You don't know. You don't know if he's like, I'm done with this dude. Like, he's not getting it. You'll walk right across the street and here comes a school bus. Right? You'll go to sleep and never wake up ever again. Right?
Did you hear that story about the guy that was working in the tree? I think it was it just came out yesterday. The guy fell out of the tree straight into the wood chipper. Damn. Instantly. Yeah. I said that was divine justice.
Yeah. See, a lot of people don't know that. A lot of people just dying left and right. The Most High like this so, that so, this so, that so. Right? And you in the Most High's hand. Right? But if you're the type that's gonna, like, when I read that scripture, they are taught the fear of the Lord by the precept of men. When you look at the modern day religions today, that's the learning God by the precepts of men, the fear of God. You got Christians saying, we could eat pork. We're trying to tell you, no, you can't. Because you were taught by the precept of men how to fear God instead of opening up his word and then giving you the answers. You let man and man's traditions get you tripped up, and now you're walking into a damn ditch. Really quick, Jeremiah 17 verses 5, and get Luke 6 and 39. Jeremiah 17 and 5. And these are priests in the temple. So imagine, everyone's looking up and looking up for them for guidance, right?
It's the book of Jeremiah, chapter 17, verse 5. Thus said Yahweh, cursed be the man that trusteth in man.
See, cursed be the man that trusteth in man. Come on, man, just look. I know it say that, but you got life to live. You only 21 years old. You never been to the club. The Lord says, bear the yoke in thy youth. Right? You got a lot of Israelites that's in high school going through a lot of peer pressure. Right? You got teachers trying to teach other people's parents what's right and what's wrong and what they should do with their life. Right? The Lord said, honor your mother and your father that your days may be long. You stop listening to your mother and to your father, see how long you live. Listen to Pookie and Ray Ray all you want. Lil Tay Tay and Lil, all these names, 300X 500 from wherever, right? Holding the Uzi. Listen to him all you want. When the Lord says, cursed be he, guess what? Don't think it's like a curse, like a shaman. No, just open the book. He shows you the curses. Deuteronomy 28 shows you all of the curses. Now you're going to end up like, and not even just Deuteronomy. I'm talking about all throughout the Bible. You see what has happened to people for kicking against the pricks. You see what's happening to people for disobedience, right? The Lord talks about an adulterer, how that man gonna end up. You fell to the curse of an adulterer who thought he could escape the punishment of the law. You thought you was crazy? What? You thought you was gonna escape? You thought you was just gonna sell drugs your whole life and get rich, huh? But now you got a gun to your head, and the only thing, you know, in those movies, they always tell you to say your last words. You're gonna be a tough guy to the barrel. All you want, but guess who you gotta see now? You gotta go see him, the terrible one. That's how you gonna go. That's what you gonna go see. Right? You gonna fall to the curses. So that trusting in man, if you shape your life after trusting in man rather than the Lord, a curse is going to befall you. It's why you have to stand stiffly for the name of the Lord. Right? What I tell you to go?
Luke chapter 6, verse 39. And he spake a parable unto them. Can the blind lead the blind? Shall they not both fall into the ditch?
See? Remember Mr. Magoo, the cartoon? You want to follow him? Remember all of the damn dangers he was getting into? Blind man walking through all the highway traffic. You want to follow him? Go ahead. Go to church on Sunday. See where that leads you. Right? The Lord is calling us out of those things. He's given us vision and foresight to see what is coming. He's opened the book in the understanding, and it's not sealed to us. Versus the wise and the prudent, the learned, the scientists. They can't understand this Bible. But the Lord chose what? The weak things to confound the wisdom of the wise. Right? And these priests probably looked at Malachi just like they looked at Yahushua in his day. Who is this guy? He's not a priest. He's not a son of Aaron. And I believe that Malachi was a Levite. Right? However, they still going to look at him like he's not holding office. Anything that does not amount up to what they feel is status, they're going to consider reject. Right? Because Israelites been doing that since the beginning of time. Right? Let's go back to Malachi 1 and 7. We're only going to do chapter 1.
Malachi chapter 1, verse 7. Ye offer polluted bread upon mine altar, and ye say, wherein have we polluted thee?
See? You offer polluted bread on the altar. Now you offering bread that probably got mold on it. You offering bread that's stale. Probably got damn maggots in it. Who knows? It's polluted. Go ahead, Doc.
Leviticus 2 and 11. No meat offering which ye shall bring unto the Lord shall be made with leaven, for ye shall burn no leaven nor any honey in anything the Lord made by fire.
Mm-hmm. So there's a particular way to offer everything to the Lord. Flour, wine, bread, turtle doves, lamb, goat, ox. It's a particular way that we must offer them. And you must pick them of a certain age, right? But the Lord has his proper design, right? You can't smell what the Lord smells, right? His nose is way 10,000 times more potent than what you. He smells everything. He could smell your little, that little sick lamb you offered him. Like, you didn't think I knew that lamb was sick? Right? And see, what a lot of people don't understand is Israel. Remember, when we go into Haggai, they didn't have a lot of substance because Israel wasn't doing what they were supposed to do. There was shortening the Lord. I know it says, a tenth of a flour, but he'll accept the fifth. Like, you can't have that mind state serving the Lord. The Lord said, if you be willing and obedient, those two apply together, just like faith and works, right? Willingness and obedience work together. You can't just obey the Lord and not want to obey him. You might as well just go live your life, because he don't want a robot. He wants a real person who loves him and appreciates him, just like you would want somebody to appreciate you, right? So don't go offering any old thing to the Lord. You make a vow to the Lord, fulfill it. Husbands, love your wife as Christ of the church, to be an example of who the Most High made men to be, and wives vice versa, right? Everything we do is a sacrifice. Even in the book of Hebrews, it says communication is a sacrifice. Call your brother, call your sister, call your mother, right? Take time, come to camp, come to class, get on. This is what the Lord desires. Them who discuss the great things that he's done and how merciful he was, and the testimonies we share is being written in the book of life. What's the scripture say in Psalms? Behold, my tears, aren't they in a bottle? Right? The Lord knows the very number of your tears. He knows the weight of your tears. That's what David was explaining. Right? So why shortchange the Lord? Why give him not your best, but you give your job your best? You give your parents your best. He gave you your parents. You give everything else your best. And if you're a person that don't give your best, start giving your best daily. Start giving your best and put that into practice. Stop shortchanging yourself. I always tell my sons, I say, you're cheating yourself. Like, if I know you just lied to me, you think you can get away with it? No. You're cheating yourself. You're victimizing yourself, brother. You're putting yourself in danger by dishonoring your mother. You're cheating yourself. Right? Well, go ahead.
And that he say, the table of Yahweh is contemptible.
You see that? Let's go to Leviticus chapter 22. So they in their heart are saying, this job that we have, I hate doing this job. Now imagine being a Levite, right? All the Levites raise their hands. A lot of them missing. I see Yeshaya, Sadia. It's two. Back in ancient times, right after y'all got weaned from your mother's milk, you know where you was going. You was going to the priest that was nearby, and you was going to get raised up in the laws, statutes, and commandments. Now, you know how it was hearing other children play outside, but you got responsibilities. You was in law school. Right there, child. How you go to law school at 4 years old? That's crazy. You have PhDs in the Lord's laws, right? But you hear all the kids playing outside, right? Everybody just, you're different, though. That's all. Israel, we know we're different, but we always had to, I want to see what it is to be like, no, the Lord, like, no, I need you for this. So now you look at the Lord's table and you look at the Lord's work like it's contemptible. Like, you know, when you can't stand when your parents is more strict than other parents, I can't never go nowhere. Hate this house. I hate living here. You be under your breath. That's what the priest was going through. They're like, oh, we gotta do this work. Why we gotta do this work? They low-key envy the other kings and the other priests because they could do whatever they want. No, this thing is not to make you a prisoner, right? This is why the Lord is seeking for a remnant who is going to willfully want to be at his altar, willfully want to be at his table, willfully want to be in the gates of Jerusalem and be at his feet and worship and honor him because he gave us every damn thing. He gave you oranges and bananas and meat and all type. Why not thank him? He ain't asking for much. But you thinking that what he gave to you and you being responsible as a priest, a prince, and a righteous man on the planet is hard to do. You hate that. Go ahead,
Ecclesiasticus 6 and 22. For wisdom is according to her name, and she is not manifest unto many. Give ear, my son, receive my advice, and refuse not my counsel. Put thy feet unto her fetters, and thy neck into her chain. Bow down thy shoulder and bear her, and be not grieved with her bonds.
See, the scripture saying, be bound with wisdom. Be bound with wisdom. And you have to be possessed by wisdom. You have to be possessed by the Most High Spirit. Because ain't nothing else gonna get you into a paradise where you're gonna end. You're not a free man. You want to be a free man. Just imagine worshiping your Lord freely. How many of us want to worship the Lord freely? Man, I'm tired of arguing about Christmas trees. I'm tired of arguing about, Sabbath. I'm tired of arguing about just the simple things when I feel grieved, like, yo, I just want to get up out of here. I'm tired of being pulled into this system that hates my God. I'll be having righteous anger in the car, like casting down all type of prayers against Babylon, man. Because I want to willfully serve the Lord. And I want to be obedient as possible. But we're not in our world. We feel strange. But a lot of Israelites, they felt at that time like they wanted that world. And they didn't want this duty to serve the Lord at his altar. Go ahead, Al.
It's the book of Matthew, chapter 11. I'm going to start at 29. Take my yoke upon you and learn of me, for I am meek and lowly in heart, and ye shall find rest unto your souls. For my yoke is easy, my burden is light.
You can find rest. Right now it's hard. Right? There's no rest. Esau does not have a light yoke. All y'all rappers that want to have record deals, he don't have a light yoke. You just want a couple cars, it's a heavy yoke he's gonna put on you. You know how much millions of dollars you're gonna have to owe? You're gonna be in debt, right? And then you belong to him. Your very soul is gonna belong to him because you signed your nature to him.
And then if your contract is about a certain amount of albums and you're not hitting,
yeah, cut you loose. You got to pay off all that money.
Or worse, hold you and don't let you put nothing out.
Right. Yep. That's how. And let me tell you something. Yahweh Shai don't work like that. He's going to give you rest for your soul. Right. Let's go back to Leviticus 22, 17.
This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 22, verse 17. And Yahweh spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto Aaron and to his sons, and unto all the children of Israel, and say unto them, Whatsoever he be of the house of Israel, or of the strangers in Israel, that will offer his oblation for all his vows, and for all his free will offerings, which they will offer unto Yahweh for a burnt offering. Verse 19.
Keep going.
Ye shall offer at your own will a male without blemish.
See, offer at your own will a male without blemish, meaning a healthy male. Don't just give the Lord anything. He's seeking for a male without blemish. This is your free will offering to the Lord. Right? Go ahead.
Of the beeves, of the sheep, or of the goats. But whatsoever hath a blemish, that shall you not offer, for it shall not be acceptable for you.
See, anything with a blemish you shall not offer. Anything with like a little hanging eye like this, man. Except for that ear wasn't born with one ear, or his leg, he got a limp. You know what I'm saying? You want a healthy lamb, right? There's, animals got deformities, man. Right? But he don't. His badge just, he just like, damn. You ain't gonna get that to the Lord, but guess what? They were giving that to the Lord, right? Go ahead, all the way to verse 22.
Verse 21. And whosoever offereth a sacrifice of peace offerings unto Yahweh to accomplish his vow, or a freewill offering in beeves or sheep, it shall be perfect to be accepted. There shall be no blemish therein. Verse 22. Blind or broken, or maimed, or having a wen, or scurvy, or scabbed, ye shall not offer these unto Yahweh, nor make an offering by fire of them upon the altar unto Yahweh.
See that? So, blind, maimed. Now you gotta understand something. about animals. They fight each other. They injure each other. They fall in ditches. They get broken legs, right? Goats will fight to the death. You don't think that goats got maimed and then, oh, he's sick, man. And then literally the priest is like, well, this one gonna hurt me, but I'll give him to the Lord. This is what the priests were doing. They were violated, right? Go ahead. Back to Malachi.
Malachi chapter 1, verse 8. And if ye offer the blind for sacrifice, is it not evil? And if ye offer the lame and sick, is it not evil?
See that? That's evil to the Lord. You thinking that you just, I'll just give this, or I'll just do that, and he'll accept it. No, he don't accept that. He showed you what he accepts, but you try to compromise and be like, well, he accepts a little bit of, sacrifice, not a lot, a little. He wants you to be a living sacrifice. That's your reasonable service, right? I mean, that's the least you could do is to live for him. He gave you life. Why you can't give your life back to him, right? Go ahead.
Offer it now unto thy governor. Will he be pleased with thee?
See,
or
he said, offer it now to Artaxerxes the first. Will he be pleased with you? He's not talking about the governor over Judea, because guess what Israel is doing? They're making sure he get his tribute. He getting the finest corn, because remember they will roll up in there. Where's the corn? Where's the oil? Where's the rice? Because remember, that's your tribute. Where's the silver? So they have to pay tribute with all of the foods and the currency and things of that nature to the king. So the Lord, now are you offering the king over you any of this? But you offering your God this? No. See how evil that is? We offer man, right? Something greater than our God. That's a false balance, right?
Remember that old school saying? Fair exchange is no robbery.
Right. Yep. Fair exchange is no robbery. Yep. You want to be on the good side all the damn time. Who cares about being on the man's good side? How about being on the Lord's good side? Right? Real quick, let's go to Deuteronomy 15:21.
Deuteronomy chapter 15, verse 21. And if there be any blemish therein, as if it be lame or blind, or have any ill blemish, thou shalt not sacrifice it unto the Lord thy God.
Thou shalt not sacrifice it unto the Lord thy God. And what we see here, the children of Israel are doing just that. Sacrificing lame, sick, blind, right? Deaf, you name it, to the Lord. Let's go back to verse 8, Malachi.
Will he be pleased with thee, or accept thy person, saith Yahweh of hosts?
He's not going to be pleased with you, and he's not going to accept your person, right? So that's an evil thing to the Lord. And guess what? The priests were doing that, right? Verse 9.
And now I pray you, beseech God that he will be gracious unto us.
Beseech means beg. Beg the Lord that he's going to be gracious. You know what's so crazy about what Malachi just said? Malachi, he's going out against them. He's saying that he's going to be gracious to us. Like, I'm involved in this too, man. Y'all about to get me jammed up. So, beseech the Lord that he might be gracious to us for doing this evil. Go ahead.
This hath been by your means.
See, I mean, this is your fault, right? This has been by your own hands, right? That has provoked him to wrath, right? Go ahead.
Will he regard your persons, saith Yahweh of hosts?
Hosea 13:9.
Hosea chapter 13, verse 9. O Israel, thou hast destroyed thyself, but in me is thine help.
See that? We destroyed ourselves, but in the Lord is our help. Right? So where do we receive help from? The Lord. Right? But who destroys who? We destroy ourselves. The Lord don't stretch forth his hand to destroy us without a cause. Right? Let's get Ezekiel chapter 14, verses 21. He's not going to destroy us without a cause. Even us coming up in these end times are learning why we went through what we went through as a people. And it's not without a cause. It's because we sinned. We did things like this to our God, a pure, holy, righteous king. Right? He's just not a figment of man's imagination. It's like God was invented by man. How? You were invented by God. Right? Go ahead.
It's Ezekiel chapter 14, verse 21. For thus saith the Lord God, how much more when I send my 4 sword judgments upon Jerusalem?
See, the Lord sent 4 sword judgments. That's going into the 4 horsemen. Go ahead.
The sword
Uh-huh.
and the famine and the noisome beast and the pestilence to cut off from it man and beast.
Keep going.
Yet behold, therein shall be left a remnant.
See, it's going to be left a remnant in Israel that's going to return. Right? Go ahead.
That shall be brought forth.
See, brought forth, just like the bride coming out of her chamber. Right? Go ahead.
Both sons and daughters.
There you go.
Behold, they shall come forth unto you.
They're going to come forth unto you.
And ye shall see their way and their doings.
You're going to see their way and their doings. You're going to be teaching their people to come back to the Lord, our power, right? Through the laws, statutes, and commandments by way of Hamashiach Yahushua. Go ahead.
And ye shall be comforted.
And see, and that's going to comfort our soul. So that everything that we went through was due to us falling away from our Lord. Because what we're going to speak to them is by way of the Spirit, which is the comforter. Believe it or not, knowing what we went through as a people and knowing our end is comforting to know that God was on our side the whole time, but we destroyed ourselves from the covenant, right? So now we have to enter the promises with a new mind, with a new heart, with a greater understanding, right? Go ahead.
And ye shall be comforted concerning the evil that have brought upon Jerusalem.
See that? Concerning the evil that he's brought upon Jerusalem through the other nations, which was his sword, his left hand. Right? Let's go back to Malachi 1 and 10.
Malachi chapter 1, verse 10. Who is there even among you that would shut the doors for naught?
You see that? He's saying, listen, I wish somebody would shut the damn temple doors at this point. Don't even go in there. Don't give me nothing. Shut the doors. And I wonder why the temple destroyed right now. Think about it. I wonder why he made sure that the damn doors ain't gonna open until the day is rebuilt when Yahushua built it, and a righteous priest gonna be in there. Right? He said, I wish I would just shut the doors, man. Go ahead.
Neither do ye kindle fire on my altar for naught.
And don't even burn. Don't burn nothing on my altar. I don't want it. Right? Because you don't need, one, you're not doing it willingly. My table is contemptible to you. You're giving me any old thing, and I'm not accepting it. So why don't you just shut the whole office down? And see, this is why Levi, when you go into Malachi 2, which we will go into next week, This is why he had to put that curse on the Levites. And I hate to say this when you go into the Levites, the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere is what? Haiti. Because they were the Levitical priests. They were under the Levitical priesthood. Go ahead, Al.
This is even before this book. Inside, when you read archaeological evidence against the siege and destruction of Jerusalem,
Right.
the interior forest where the Levites predominantly gave service to the Most High, to this day it's still burnt down. So when the Jews tried to plant trees inside of that specific landmass in Israel, you could all look this up, in the 1940s, they will show that it is currently now facing a crisis to where the trees are dying. And that's giving evidence to the Most High's fire, because you cannot try to plant trees where it's desolate.
Right.
It's impossible.
Right.
So
Right. Everything, listen, man, the Most High has everything by his design. Everything. Right? The Lord has a particular order. Right? Right now, we under the order of Melchizedek. And we all priests. But he's still going to have those children out of Jehoshaphat come and offer to him still. And come cook before him. Right? They're going to have on pure linen before the Lord. Cooking before the Lord. Not offering no blemish to the Most High. No lamb with blemish to the Most High. And believe it or not, we're going to be able to go in and bring our offerings to the Lord. And guess what? The gates are going to be open continuously. Right? So the Lord is going to be receiving. Matter of fact, go to Psalms chapter 51. Go to the last two verses.
The book of Psalms, chapter 51, verse 18. Do good in thy good pleasure unto Zion. Build thou the walls of Jerusalem.
There you go. Build thou the walls of Jerusalem. Right? Go ahead.
Then shalt thou be pleased with the sacrifices of righteousness, with burnt offering and whole burnt offering.
You see that? Then shalt thou be pleased with the sacrifices of righteousness, with burnt offering and whole burnt offering. Then shall they offer bullocks upon thy altar. But it starts here. It starts here. You must have a broken and contrite heart. Right?
precept.
Go ahead, Al.
This is Hosea chapter 6 and verse 6.
Mm.
For I desired mercy and not sacrifice,
That's right.
and the knowledge of the Most High more than burnt offerings.
There you go. How you going to sacrifice to somebody you don't know what they accept? That's like if you got a girl and you don't listen to her at all, right? And she done told you 8 times that she like chocolate, right? And then you go, I'm gonna give my baby some mint. Right. She don't like mint chocolate. You go give her some mint chocolate anyway. She gonna be like, thanks. Right? She ain't gonna really eat that. I'm gonna take it to work and she got thing gonna get left at work. She gonna give it to her coworkers and put that thing in the garbage. We all done did that. You done took a gift from somebody like, thanks. I don't care who you is, y'all did it. You were like, yeah, I like that, man. Yeah, real cool. You appreciate it, but it's something you just let sit. And you're like, damn, I'm horrible. You just throw the thing away, or you just let it decay, or whatever it is, it just biodegrade, right? But you get what I'm saying. You just don't do something for somebody and they dislike certain things. You got to learn how to be cohesive with that person. You have to be cohesive with the Lord. You have to learn to like what he likes and willfully like it. But it starts from here. But some people don't have it here. This is why Judgment Day is coming, because That's why the earth is getting out of control, because they don't love the Lord. Go ahead, Al.
1 Samuel chapter 15, verse 22. And Samuel said, as Yahweh has great delight in burnt offerings and sacrifices, as in obeying the voice of Yahweh, behold, to obey is better than sacrifice, and to hearken than the fat of rams.
So they were just giving sacrifice, thinking that was going to get them somewhere, but they wasn't being obedient in their sacrifices, right? And this should teach us that obedience has everything to do with your sacrifice, and your willingness has everything to do with your obedience, right? Let's go back to Malachi.
It's the middle of verse 10.
Start from 10. The top.
Who is there even among you that would shut the doors for naught? Neither do ye kindle fire on my altar for naught. I have no pleasure in you, saith the Lord of hosts. Neither will I accept an offering at your hand. For from the rising of the sun, even unto the going down of the same, my name shall be great among the Gentiles.
See, now you see, he's trying to let them know, like, don't you know who I am? He said, y'all are polluting my name amongst the Gentiles. Y'all are showing the Gentiles who I truly am to you. So I gotta help you remember. I gotta let you know who I am. And this is why they didn't last too long in that temple. I gotta remind you who I am all over again. I love you, but I gotta remind you who I am, and that I took you from Egypt. I took your father Abraham out of Chaldea. I did these things. I flooded the world. I created mankind. I created the creatures that's walking. I created the fruit trees. Right? I created the roots that you get healed with. Right? Me. Go ahead.
And in every place incense shall be offered unto my name, and a pure offering. For my name shall be great among the heathen, saith Yahweh of hosts.
See, because we've given the reason for the heathen to say my name. What do they do now? They're like, who's their God? The Ishmaelites, they have Allah. The white man has Jesus, right? The Asian man has his dragon god, and the East Indians have their gods. They're like, who are their God? Who's their God? They got all types of gods that they follow, right? But who's the children of Israel's God? Who is the black man in America's God? The Hispanic man's God? The Haitian man's who is their God? Right? We profaned the name of our God by doing these things, because these heathen know what we were doing. So they know we don't take our God serious. So therefore, they're not going to take our God serious. But our Lord is saying, look, my name is going to be great amongst the heathen. Really quick, get Ezekiel 20 verses 9.
Ezekiel chapter 20, verse 9. But I wrought for my name's sake, that it should not be polluted before the heathen.
So he said, I wrought for my name's sake, meaning he worked hard for his holy name, that it shall not be polluted amongst the heathen. This is why you see the name. This is why a lot of Israelites that say that name Yahweh is wicked. Y'all calling on the satanic deity. Well, guess who? Guess who caused that? We did. We started ascribing our God to other idols, and then putting him in other ideologies, and using his name with all types of dark magic, and etc., etc. When you go into the Kabbalah, that was created by Israelites. The Talmud, all of these things were created by Israelites, right? And we're polluting the Lord's name. So a lot of these brothers that be like, oh, the name of Yahweh is wicked. Look, that doesn't mean it's wicked. That means that the Israelites profaned his name, polluted his name among the heathen. right? So now he got to work for his namesake. And I always give this analogy. Like if you, like a brother, when he gets to know a girl, right? And he may use her. And when he finally lays down with her, the girl's she's a real good girl. And he be like, yo, man, I just hit that. You know what I'm saying? Yo, like, yo, man, she was like this. And I had, guys that do that, they destroying that girl's name. Oh, she a hoe, this and that, man. And you stop dealing with her. Now she's hurt. And now she got to do what? She got to clean up her name. She got to be like, look, I'm not like that. Or the brother that you say, yo, this dude come to my house all the time and steal, but he ain't never steal nothing. But you just lying on him. He always stealing it. And you find out this brother saying, oh, he said you be stealing. What? I don't be stealing from people. Now you got to go talk to everybody that he done told that you stole and clean up your name.
You hate me, you say you put smut on my name.
Yeah. You like you throwing dirt on my name. You throwing salt on my name. When you throw salt on something, it destroys and dries out all the ingredients in it that make it the proper texture and taste it is. Like ancient times, they would throw salt on the land, right? So that nothing would grow from it, right? If they wanted to destroy an economy, right? And that was like an act of war. You cast mounds of salt on lands, right? And what does the salt do? It causes things not to grow anymore. So it's like this: when you throw salt on my name, you take it from the true reputation that my name carries, right? And that's what we did to the Most High. Read that again in Ezekiel.
Ezekiel chapter 20, verse 9. But I wrought for my name's sake that it should not be polluted before the heathen, among whom they were, in whose sight I made myself known unto them.
You see that? In whose sight I made myself known unto them. Where? Ancient Egypt. Moses said, Yahweh hath sent me. And they laughed. Oh, yeah, who's that? Oh, man. We got this guy. We got that guy. But then as soon as we get into the land, they're like, hey, wasn't this Yahweh's people? Oh, aren't they worshiping images now? You mean it's all them? Oh, man, let's go. They wasn't serious about all that. Let us go take them over again. Right? These nations know who our God is and our relationship with him. And they watch you. Believe it or not, they're very afraid that we're connecting with our God. Very afraid. Very afraid. And once we come back to our power, they already know what time it is. Right? Let's go back to Malachi, chapter 1, verses 12.
But ye have profaned it, and that ye say, the table of Yahweh is polluted, and the fruit thereof, even his meat, is contemptible.
You see that? They don't even like the office that they carry, that they have. You don't desire what the Lord desires for you to offer him? And this is the problem that he was having with his very own priests, the Levites. Verse 13.
Ye said also, behold, what a weariness it is, and ye have snuffed at it, saith the Lord of hosts, and ye brought that which was torn, and the lame and the sick, thus ye brought an offering.
You see that? So you literally just hate offering to me. You hate being the priest, right? But you know what's so crazy is it's the people that's going to the priest. And these priests, that's not the only office they have, was to take offering. They just teaching the people that you could do this. It's going to go deeper and further. But they're also teaching out of the law, and guile is in their mouth. Deceiving the people, like, yeah, it's okay, great. Because they're the gatekeepers. They're the ones that's taking the lane. What is that telling a child in that time? That I can offer anything to the Lord. There's a trickle-down effect. Then he stops caring once in a while. And now he has pants hanging down in the ghetto with a damn Uzi. That's what this stuff created. It taught us to not respect and revere and fear our God. Go ahead.
was gonna say it also takes away the free will offering, because that's in the law. A free will offering to where you just go up and offer something out of your own heart to the Most High.
Right.
And you know, when you take the free will offering out, take away the sacrifice and obedience to it.
Right.
That's why we have to.
And a free will offering, you should give your best.
Right.
Absolutely.
You're supposed to give the Lord your best. He gave his best. And that's why, you know, when it says, for God so loved the world, we see why he gave Yahweh to us. You know why? Because he's showing you, listen, I gave you my best. This should prick your hearts. This right here should pierce your hearts. Right? I gave you my best, and I'll give you my best. Right? Go ahead.
Should I accept this of your hand, saith the Lord? Verse 14. But cursed be the deceiver, which hath in his flock a male.
You see that? Now there's somebody that has substance and has a male that could be offered to the Lord. You got him right there. I always use this analogy too. How many people cook like, you know, all right, so when I'm cooking for my kids and I see steak and I see like 6 steaks, because there's 6 of us in the house, I always be like, I'm seeing the cake simmer or whatever, and I'm like, that one's gonna be mine right there. You know which one you want. That one look juicier. That's the privilege that you have when you cook, because you're like, I know what meat I'm gonna like. See what I'm saying? So you got the privilege of doing that and serving other people. Well, I'm just like that. But now here's a person that can see all of his sheep, right? And he knows this sheep, this meat gonna be good. This one gonna get sold off and give me a whole bunch of money. This one is he's sick, ain't nobody gonna want him. I ain't gonna eat him. Guess what? Oh, offer to the Lord. While you got a whole strong male that could be offered to the Lord and not trusting that the Lord is gonna bless enlarging your coast because you're giving him what he's asking for, right? And here you still gonna give him the sick lamb because you want to make money off of this one and you want to eat this one later, right? The Lord sees all of that. So this is why he says, cursed be the deceiver, which hath in his flock a male. Go ahead.
And voweth and sacrificeth unto the Lord a corrupt thing.
And he's vowing to the Lord, like, I'm going to offer this to the Lord. But you give a corrupt thing, right? And what does this also go into? Your modern day pastors, imams, etc., right? Who are in boule societies, deceiving the children of Israel, taking their tithes and knowing the truth, but deceiving the people, vowing to the Lord, swearing falsely by his name, and still offering up corruption to the Lord. Praying. What's the dude name in New York, the little Brooklyn pastor? Getting caught up.
Whitehead.
Yeah, him. Rich guy, right? Offering a corrupt thing to the Lord. Deceiving and vowing a vow in the name of the Lord, right? You need to come correct, brother. The curse is going to fall. You're going to befall him if you don't repent, right? Go ahead.
For I am a great king.
You see that? He said, look, I'm a talk. He said, I am a great king. He letting us know, offering me listen, you'll give your governor, a man that's just flesh and ash and dust, sitting on the throne, bring him before me. What have you from Ethiopia? They're giving him coffee and giving him the finest of everything, right? And then make a celebration, right? And you over here serving your God, giving him sick food.
That's great.
He said, I am a great king. You know, the Lord is up there right now with a multitude of angels that don't even look upon him. They cover their face. With twain they flew. With twain they covered their face, and with twain they covered their feet. They know how to reverence the Lord and respect and honor. They don't even go before the Lord. They just cry, holy, holy, holy. The seraphims. Right? You think heaven is up there dishonoring him? Not at all. When he went up there, he said smoke filled the temple. Smoke? And his garment, his train filled the temple. That means his garment went. You know how when kings, and even when you look in the wedding dress is long. The Most High, I have to say Yahweh Shah, because he didn't see Yahweh. He saw the right hand of the Father. He saw the glory and the excellency of heaven, but he saw Yahweh Shah, because Yahweh Shah is at the right hand of the Father, right? So when he saw this, his robe filled the entire temple. So he's a great king, right? Micah 5:2, really quick. Go ahead, Al.
Psalm 76:12. He shall cut off the spirit of princes. He is terrible to the kings of the earth.
There you go. He's going to cut off the spirit of princes. He is terrible to the kings of the earth. My Lord. Right? Joe Biden, you think that's a damn prince? You think that's a king? Damn, the Queen of England. You think that's a ruler? Not even close. Right? What's his name? Putin? Compared to the glory of the ancient Putin next to David. Not even comparable. Right? You just got a nuke. That's all. That's the only thing that's different between y'all. Right? But I'm talking about glory, honor, reverence, respect. And the Most High is being disrespected. And he's the greatest king. He's the King of kings. Right? And the Lord of lords. Right? Where I tell you to go? Micah 5:2.
Micah chapter 5, verse 2.
Speaking of Yahweh Shai, go ahead.
But thou, Bethlehem Ephratah, though thou be little among thousands of Judah, yet out of thee shall he come forth unto me that is to be a ruler in Israel, whose goings forth have been of old, from everlasting.
See, his goings forth is from old and from everlasting. Meaning his origins is from ancient times. From the time he was created, the Most High predestined Yahweh Shai to be the king over this place, to be the king over this dominion. Remember, I don't understand how people cannot believe in Yahweh Shai. If the Lord told Adam, subdue the earth, they go, y'all believe in basically idolizing Yahweh Shai. So was mankind idolizing Adam? He made him rule over the earth. He said, be fruitful, multiply, subdue it, have dominion. And he gave Yahweh Shai dominion and told him subdue the earth. And that's the king that we reject. That's the king that we have asked. That's the king that we were offering lame, sick offerings to. Right? Swearing by his name, vowing and offering a corrupt thing. Back to Malachi 1:14. We're going to close out.
But cursed be the deceiver, which hath in his flock a male, and voweth, and sacrificeth unto the Lord a corrupt thing. For I am a great king, saith Yahweh of hosts, and my name is dreadful among the heathen.
There you go. His name is dreadful among the heathen. Now here we over here polluting his name among the heathen. The heathen's supposed to reverence and respect your God. I understand the heathen, they're not going to receive our salvation, but we will rule over the heathen, and they will learn to respect our God through us. What did Paul say? Give me Romans 2:28. Concerning the circumcision, right? Understand the difference. Now, these Gentiles are not Israelites. Are not ethnic Gentiles, right? He's telling the circumcision, the Jews, to set the standard and be an example for those who are coming in from among the Gentiles. But just understand this principle I'm bringing up, right? Romans 2:28.
Romans 2, chapter 28. For he is not a Jew, which is one outwardly, neither is.
Let me see. Verse 24. Go to first. 24. There you go. 24. Romans 2:24. So
Romans 2, chapter 2, verse 24. For the name of God is blasphemed among the Gentiles through you.
see that? The name of the Most High is blasphemed among the Gentiles through you. Right? We carry the reputation of the Most High. Right? If we were called to be his holy people, we must also set apart his name.
Right.
We can't pollute his name with anything. You can't be around a Christmas tree like, oh yeah, oh, can't do that. Can't do that. Right? We blaspheme his name amongst the Gentiles when we do things like that. Right? So what the Lord is asking for is contriteness, brokenness, right? He wants you to be true to him, right? And so this is why Malachi is very important, right? Because his testimony that he left, it should have been carried down throughout the Second Temple period, but we know what happened. They argued over the priesthood. You had two and three different priesthoods come out. And then now we see the Pharisees, the Sadducees, etc., corruption all back in the land. Now the temple had to be destroyed due to that corruption. Yahushua whooping men out of the temple. He said, you have made my father's house into a den of thieves, selling sacrifices in the house of the Lord. Right? And this is what we've come to today. Completely out of sight, out of mind, out of touch. But thanks be to the Most High that he called the remnant forth, right? And we can continue to deliver the message that the Lord has put in our people from the beginning, right? Which is the gospel. The good news that we're going to be redeemed and we're going to be set apart in that day as the elect and the remnant that can see and that is holding on and being steadfast and remaining in his way. Right? That's the glory beyond us. Right? We could understand why Malachi was mad. And we could understand why the priests suffered that judgment. Because think about it. How many of you would willfully do that? Willfully, Lord, I'm going to give you this sick lamb. Right? I couldn't imagine doing it, but guess what? We all fall somewhere. So wherever we're falling at, wherever we're shortchanging the Lord at, we need to fix that. Before we come to the Lord's house and lift up our hands and pour oil on each other and understand why that's considered sacred oil. You're sacred too. Set yourself apart from the things that's polluting you from being a vessel of the Lord. Right? Now you are being a living sacrifice. Don't offer yourself with sickness in your mind, with sickness in your heart. Right? It's time to purge out that sickness. And the Lord, and through David, he said what? He said, create in me a clean heart and renew within me a right spirit. Right? So we're all going to pray for that right spirit. Right? So let's give the Lord a hand. Being gracious, being merciful. And we're going to rise. We're going to face the east and close out. And then we're going to pray for your family.
Rise and face the east. It's the book of Psalms, chapter 93. Yahweh reigneth. He is clothed with majesty. Yahweh is clothed with strength, wherewith he hath girded himself. The world also established that it cannot be moved. Thy throne is established of old. Thou art from everlasting. The floods have lifted up, O Yahweh. The floods have lifted up their voice. The floods lift up their waves. Yahweh on high is mightier than the noise of many waters, yea, than the mighty waves of the sea. Thy testimonies are very sure. Holiness becometh thine house, O Yahweh, forever. In the name of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Mashiach, Yahweh Shai, throughout the Yad, Amen.
Amen.
Amajim Shabbat. Amajim. Barak.
Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Barak Atah.
Y'all watching my shot, brother Thumb. Yes, so we got this